So once you've unboxed your TentBox Lite, this is what you'll have. You've got your roof tent here and then all the fixing parts laid out on this table. To install a TentBox Lite, the only thing you need is a set of crossbars on your car, like this, and it will go on a big car or a small car, and you can purchase crossbars, again, for any car, and if you need any help finding them, please get in touch with our support team. So the first thing you're going to need to do is attach the fixing rail to the bottom of your TentBox Lite. To do that, you grab a rail, you grab 2 of these bolts and slide them down the channel at the base of the rail. You're then going to come over to your TentBox Lite, and as you can see, there's 4 sets of holes on the base, and depending on the width of your vehicle, you might want to choose the outer 2 sets, or you might want to choose the inner sets. And for this purpose, because we've got a small car, we're going to choose the inner sets. So you grab your rail and flip it over, insert those bolts into the holes, like so, and slide it up just to make sure it's flush with the edges. And you again do that for the other side too. Again, I'm going to use the inner 2. Cool. And so that's how your rail is going to be positioned. And now it's time just to get on the inside of the tent, under the mattress, and just put the nuts on and tighten them securely. So to secure these rails in place, we need to open up the tent box. Best to get another person to help you do this so these don't fall out. So if Dom, you could help me please. Pull your tent box open, holding onto these 2 bars so they don't fall. So if you lift up the mattress, once you've opened it, you'll see that here the bolt is sticking through. And what you need to do is grab one of these big washers, stick it on there, and then get the nut on as well. So once you've got the nut on, you do the same on the other one here and tighten it up with the spanner that's provided. And you'll need to do this with all 4 of the bolts that hold on the rails all around the tent under the mattress. So once you're done with that, you should end up with 4 nuts and washers like that, securely tightened up, which is making sure that your fixing rails are held in place. So the next thing to do is to attach our ladder brackets, which we're then going to attach the ladder to. The ladder brackets fit on in very much the same way as the fixing rails. There's a couple of holes underneath. You put the 2 bolts through and then you push it upwards. The drop down part is on the inside. Push that up through. So coming onto the inside of the tent now, you can see the bolts sticking through. Drop a washer onto each and then stick a nut on like that. And again, you want to grab your spanner and make sure you do these up tightly. So again, you want to do the same with the other side, exactly the same, making sure that they're oriented like this. So grab the ladder which comes with your tent box, put the brackets on the inside of the brackets that you've just attached to the tent box, and then what you need to do is stick a washer onto the bolt, put the bolt through the bracket and the ladder bracket, stick another washer on the end, and then grab a nut and just tighten it up. And do the exact same for the other side. So using both spanners, you can tighten up this nut, like so. And then make sure you get it really tight and do the same for the other side. So once your ladder's fixed like this, with the nuts and bolts on each side, your ladder's ready to go and it's now time to install it onto your vehicle. So the next step is to close up your tent using the ladder. Make sure you tuck the sides in. One of the great things about the TentBox Lite is that it can open up either at the side of your vehicle or at the rear of your vehicle. Now we've oriented the fixing rails so that it's going to come out the side of this vehicle, but if you wanted it to come out the back, you just swap those fixing rails around the other way. But yeah, it's time to get it up onto the car now. Obviously you need another person to help you do this. Slide it over. So here's the fixing parts you're going to need to attach your roof tent to your car. So what we're going to do here with the fixing parts is these act as clamps onto your crossbars. We're going to make 4 points of contact here, here, and at each corner. So we've pre-built this one, as you can see. We've put the nut on, and you've got the part here. And what we do is we slide this onto the rail here. So we want to slide it onto the rail, making sure that you've got it lengthways like this, not like this. Make sure it goes in this way. Slide it on. Lift up your tent box. Push that over your crossbar and then grab your other piece, slide that on again this way, and you want to just grab a nut and tighten it off. So now you've got the first one on, you want to go around and put the brackets on at each corner of the tent. So before you tighten it up fully, obviously just make sure it's oriented exactly how you want it. Make sure it's nice and straight, which it is at the moment. And once you're happy with it, give it a little nudge, just, yeah, there you go. Make it nice and straight like that. And once you're happy with it, it's time to go around and tighten it all up fully with the nuts. Just make sure that you've secured those nuts tightly. And it's also important to periodically check that over time just to make sure they're still secure. But as you can see, we've got 4 points of connection here to the bars and your roof tent's now attached. To open up your TentBox Lite, you simply grab the ladder, pull it to its full extension like this, push down on it, and then pull it out and it'll all fold open like so. Now it's very important now to make sure you have the ladder angled correctly. So obviously this is too long, so we're going to shorten it by pushing in these 2 toggles and it'll collapse above your fingers. So make sure your fingers aren't in this gap and just push there and watch it drop down. And again, we're going to drop it one more time like that. And that is about right for this size car. You don't want it to be too straight and you don't want too much of an angle. You want sort of this kind of angle and then you're good to go. Before getting inside your tent, just make sure that the hinge is properly attached like so, with that metal piece there going inside the hinge. So the final stage in setting up your tent is inserting these poles. There's 8 of them in total, and what you need to do is around the tent you'll find these little slits. Inside is a hole. Pop it in like that first, and then bend it up and insert it into the grommet like that. So you'll find a boot bag inside your TentBox Lite as well, and this just slides onto the rail here. So all your muddy boots can go in there and keep outside. To close it down, obviously remove all the poles.
Then use your ladder to fold the tent box back into the closed position. You will need to shorten the ladder at this point, but only enough to fit neatly on top of the tent box. If you close it all the way, it will be harder to open again next time you use it.
So it's important to make sure you tuck all the sides in so the cover goes on properly. And once you've done that, go around and strap these straps up in the 4 corners. That helps to bring it down nicely, like that. And then finally, you're going to grab your PVC cover and put it over the top. So you'll find Velcro all around the bottom of the tent, and that's where the PVC cover will Velcro onto. And then the very final step is to throw these over the top and then tighten them off on the other side. You're now ready to use your tent box. I hope you found this video useful, and if you've got any other questions, please just contact our support team.